Here is exactly how the FAA Part 107 drone exam works, and how to pass it in just a few minutes. If you fly a drone for anything other than pure recreation, you need a remote pilot certificate. That is Part 107, and the way you get it is by passing a knowledge test at an FAA-approved testing center. The test has a code, UAG, which stands for Unmanned Aircraft General, and you will see that code on the paperwork. The test is 60 questions, and you get 2 hours. Multiple choice, with a single correct answer for every question. You need 70% to pass. 60 questions, 70%, so 42 correct. That means you can miss 18 and still pass. Now here is a genuinely odd one that almost nobody mentions. The minimum age to take the test is 14, but the minimum age to actually hold a remote pilot certificate is 16. Those are two different numbers, straight from the FAA's own testing matrix and from Part 107 itself. So a 14-year-old can sit and pass the knowledge test, and then wait until 16 to be certificated. You also have to be able to read, speak, write, and understand English. The FAA organizes the material into 5 areas of operation, and these come from the Airman Certification Standards: regulations, airspace classification and operating requirements, weather, loading and performance, and operations. One honest note here. Unlike CompTIA or NMLS, the FAA does not publish a percentage weight for each of those 5 areas in the testing matrix. So if you see a study guide claiming precise percentages, treat that as someone's estimate rather than an official blueprint. Study all 5. That said, there is a clear practical answer to what to study hardest, and it is airspace. Airspace questions require you to read a sectional chart, which is a dense aviation map full of coded numbers and colored rings, and that is a genuinely new skill for most drone pilots. Everything else on this test is reading and reasoning. Airspace is the one where you have to learn to decode a picture. Let's do 3 real questions. First, airspace. On a sectional chart, an airport is enclosed by solid blue rings, and one segment is labeled 110/40. What does that mean? It is a Class B segment with a ceiling of 11,000 feet above sea level over a floor of 4,000 feet above sea level. The numbers are hundreds of feet, so you add 2 zeros. That single convention unlocks a whole category of questions. Second, still airspace. An airport is outlined by a blue dashed line, and a nearby segmented box reads -25. What does that tell you? Class D airspace extending from the surface up to, but not including 2,500 feet above sea level. The minus sign means up to but not including. Dashed blue is Class D. Learn the line styles and colors as a set. Third, regulations. A certificated remote pilot has not flown in over 2 years. What must that person have completed within the previous 24 calendar months? Recurrent training covering the aeronautical knowledge areas required by the rule. Note that current is online training, not a retake of the knowledge test at a testing center. So, how do you prepare? Tip 1. Learn to read a sectional chart before you do anything else. Get an actual sectional or open one online and practice until the colors, the line styles, and the stacked numbers are automatic. This is the highest leverage hour you will spend on this test. Tip 2. Use the FAA's own free materials. The Remote Pilot Study Guide and the Airman Certification Standards are both free PDFs from the FAA, and the sample questions are published too. The test is written from those standards, so a paid course that is not built on them is second best by definition. Tip 3. Memorize the numbers that come up constantly. 400 feet above ground level or higher when within 400 feet of a structure. 100 miles per hour ground speed. 3 statute miles of visibility. 500 feet below and 2,000 feet horizontally from clouds. Those recur in question after question. Tip 4. Read every question for the airspace class and the conditions before you look at the options. Most of the harder items are a small scenario, and the answer depends entirely on which class of airspace you are in and whether you have authorization. Identify that first, and half the options usually eliminate themselves. Quick recap. 60 questions, 2 hours, 70% to pass, which is 42 correct. Test at 14, certificate at 16. 5 areas of operation with no official percentage weights published. Airspace and sectional charts are the hardest part and where your study time belongs, and the FAA's own study materials are free. You can practice Part 107 questions free at .com/en/part-107 in English, Chinese, or Spanish with no sign-up.